Wisdom isn't knowing exactly what to say. Wisdom is knowing when to shut up. I know that's right. Shout out to Mark Manson for that quote. You's definitely a real one for this. Collective, I feel like you have mastered the art of silence, right? You really mastered your emotions, really. You know, you're emotionally intelligent. You have your emotions all under control. So you know when it is best to be quiet and when it's best to speak up. See, before in the past, collective, you might have been someone who was very reactive, right? And you would talk too much and you would over explain yourself. You know, you would react, you know, when things triggered you and when people offended you, you would, you know, be quick to respond and be very snappy. You know, if somebody said something that you didn't agree with or you didn't like, you made sure that you were verbal about it, and then you tried to even justify why it's wrong based off of your version. You know, like you were very headstrong, collective, in your words, you know, and very defensive. Like you used to be somebody who was on the defense a lot when it came to like your mouth. You know, you might have even been someone who used to love to get the last word in an argument. Like you had to have the last argument. Like if you had siblings and y'all always got into it, you would be the one who needed to get the last word. Like you always had to say something, right? And even in certain instances where it was better for you to be quiet, you were still triggered and you felt the urge to say something or felt the need to prove a point, right? And you've done this for so long in your life, collective, and you've seen where that got you, right? It did not get you far. It really, if you look back in retrospect now, you see how much energy it drained you and depleted you of by over explaining yourself, talking way too much, always trying to fight tooth and nail and fight every single battle, trying to get the last word. Like that is so mentally and energetically exhausting. It takes a toll on your mind, body, and spirit. And you know this, collective. You know, and a lot of the times your mouth used to get you in trouble a lot, you know, whether it got you in trouble with authorities, whether it got you in trouble with family, you know, or you blocked your own blessings by your mouth, or you might have destroyed a connection that could have been great because of, you know, your mouth, or you might have blocked your own blessings by speaking too early and now your plans were sabotaged. Collective, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like you've had a lot of lessons with learning how to keep your mouth shut, and now you understand the importance of silence, right? You understand the importance of not every battle does not need to be fought, and you don't have to speak on everything, and everything doesn't need a reaction, right? You took back your power. You've learned how to stand firm and be anchored in your power. And you understand that when you overshare and talk too much, you give away your power, right? When you explain yourself too much, when you justify yourself, you're giving away your power. And you know this because you've dealt with many situations before, collective, where you spoke too soon or you spoke too much and it got you in trouble, right? And then, like, you know, people be trying to like plot on you, try to figure you out, you know what I'm saying? Try to get in your energy and get in your business, right? And over time, you've learned like certain people didn't truly have your best interest, right? They had an interest in you because they had a hidden agenda, a hidden motive, right? And I feel like you've made mistakes before where you've shared information to people who were no good for you, collective, and it came back to bite you, right? Like you've learned some hard lessons, right, with this lesson. Like you know what I'm saying? You had to go through some of the worst lessons to learn to keep your mouth shut, right? But you've dealt with some clever, cunning, conniving manipulators, right? And this is why you master the art of knowing when to stay silent, because you've dealt with a lot of conniving, very, very brilliant manipulators, right? Where even when you thought, oh, I'm staying silent. I'm not saying anything. They still found a way for you to speak up or share information. They still found loopholes because that's how good they are at manipulating you and other people, right, collective? So they found other ways and you got tripped up, right? But slowly over time, you started to pick up on these signs. And then you started to take notes of their behaviors and how they act, right? So now you have this arsenal of experience and arsenal of knowledge at your fingertips that you can use on people, right? In any circumstance, in any situation, right? And you've went through enough experiences to where you know when in a certain situation when you spoke up it was beneficial, and when you spoke and other times when you spoke up and it was not so good, right? And so because you've had these experiences, now you know when it's best to stay silent and when it's best to speak up, right? Petty games, petty arguments, petty drama, people just trying to get under your skin and pick with you. You're not reacting and responding to those people how you used to. Yes, it can be annoying, but your emotions are under control. Before, your emotions were out of control, so it was annoying on top of your emotions being out of control. So that just magnified your rage and you would lash out. But now you don't crash out anymore because you are in control of your emotions. And even when you might be annoyed at somebody, you understand that they're childish in their ways, they're petty in their ways, and what they're doing is not worth your reaction. It's not worth expending energy, right? Because the outcome of that situation is they're going to deplete themselves. Like, all you got to do is leave them alone and they're going to just wither away on their own, right? Now, and then you've dealt with situations that were more serious, right? That required you to speak up, that required you to defend yourself, right? So something serious, would be like somebody lying on your name and slandering your name through the mud, and it's giving you backlash. Or maybe somebody is manipulating you in some type of way. Like, those are when you speak up, right? Because you understand that, wait a minute, no, this ain't petty, this ain't no, this is serious, this needs to be addressed, this needs to be nipped in the butt, right? So collective, you should really be patting yourself on the back, because of those experiences that you went through. You didn't go through those in vain, collective, And I'm sure that there are moments that you still regret now to this day, like, dang, if I would have just never opened my mouth. But now, right, collective? So whatever it is, let it go. It's already happened. From here on out, not to open your mouth. You know when to speak and when not to speak, right, collective? And this keeps you protected, right? Because what your enemy doesn't know about you, they cannot attack, right? If you go around sharing your business and sharing your plans and all your ideas and everything, you're giving them information to attack, right? So you really learned how to be silent. You learned how to just speak when necessary, right? And this is to your benefit, right? Because now you're protecting the things that are valuable and the people that are valuable in your life, right? And I'm sure you even have you're experiencing different things in life now that you're more private, right? You have people that trust you more, you know what I'm saying? Because you're not as open. And you have people who are probably even more intrigued in you as well, because again, you're becoming more mysterious, or you already are mysterious in nature because of the way that you show up, okay? And just continue being you, right, collective? And continue being wise about what you share and what you don't share, Very, very valuable things you're not sharing unless they're very close to you and you really trust them. And then you're not fighting and reacting to over every little petty argument or drama or disagreement, right? You've really learned how to rein in those emotions of yours and work on your triggers, so that way when things are presented or people are presented with, you're not being triggered, okay? And you have a hold on your emotions, so no one can come in and push you over and control you and manipulate you ultimately, right, collective? Let me know if you resonate with this message, collective. Who am I talking to? Because I know I'm talking to somebody else out there. Somebody else can relate to this message. I know it. I just know it, right? And if you are new to my channel, make sure you subscribe. I would love to have you a part of our tribe. And if you're returning, thank y'all so much. I freaking love y'all so much. Thank y'all for continuing to comment, like, share, and subscribe. I love y'all. We're growing, we're growing, we're growing. Let's continue to grow, guys. It's Kar. I love y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm signing out. Bye.